Hi, I'm Niki Jabbour. In midsummer is the harvest season for one of my favorite crops, garlic. By this point, the plants have spent the better part of a year in the ground and it's time to dig, cure, and store them so they'll feed us in the coming months. But with garlic bulbs growing beneath the ground, how can you tell when they're big enough or ready to dig? Let me show you. There are two types of garlic grown in gardens, hardneck and softneck. In my garden, I grow hardneck garlic, which thrives in areas with cold winters. The cloves are best planted in October or November and harvested the following summer. There are many types and varieties of hardneck garlic to grow, and I have two different varieties in my garden right now. These big, robust plants are Music, a popular variety with plump, flavorful cloves. And in this section of the bed, I have Spanish Roja, a beautiful variety with a rich, garlicky flavor. If you've seen a garlic bulb, you probably know it has a papery layer. This protects the cloves and extends the storage life. But did you know that each papery layer is actually the bottom part of a leaf? So the amount of leaves you have in your plant is equal to the amount of papery layers that protect the bulb. As the leaves turn brown and die, the papery wrapper around the bulb also breaks down and the bulb can split. So you want to harvest when there are still green leaves on the plant because that means there are intact wrappers around the bulb. Now that we know the importance of the leaves on the garlic plant, we can use that as our cue of when to harvest. When half of the leaves have turned brown and half of the leaves are still green, it's time to dig the plants. Looking at my garlic crop, I see that there are still quite a few green leaves, so I think I'll probably wait another 7 to 10 days before I harvest the plants. With my garlic crop not quite ready to harvest, I'm going to head down the road to Garlic Mountain Farms, where farmer Mark Russell grows tens of thousands of garlic plants every year on his seaside farm. Mark's crop is ready to dig, and because the soil is very loose and heavily amended with compost, he can actually just pull the plants out of the ground. In my raised beds and in most garden soils, it's best to lift garlic bulbs carefully with a fork or a shovel to avoid damaging the bulbs. Position the fork carefully so it won't pierce the bulbs and use it to loosen the soil beneath the plant. Try to avoid damaging or bruising the bulbs as you harvest the plants because damaged roots invite rot. I then shake them lightly or tap the stems against each other to remove clumps of soil that's clinging to the roots. The next step is curing the bulbs. Curing helps the garlic bulbs develop their full flavor and prepare them for long-term storage. Hang the plants in an area that is out of direct sunlight but well ventilated. If you have a portable laundry rack, it makes a handy garlic drying rack, or you can hang them in bunches of 5 to 6 plants. Ideally, you want air circulating around the bulbs so they dry evenly. If you don't have a spot to hang the plants, you can lay them flat on a mesh screen or on newspapers, flipping them over every day or two so they cure evenly. You can also use a fan to boost air movement if you're curing in an indoor room. Leave the garlic to cure for at least 2 to 3 weeks. Mark cures his garlic for up to 6 weeks. After the curing process is finished, clean the bulbs by trimming the leaves and the roots, if you didn't already do that before you began to cure them. I leave a 2-inch stem and trim the roots to about 1 inch. I also remove the outer wrapper if it's very dirty. And if you notice any damaged bulbs, put these aside to bring to the kitchen as they won't store well. Place your garlic bulbs in a single layer in a box, basket, or hang them in mesh bags. Store in a well-ventilated room that is around 15 to 18 degrees Celsius. High-quality, well-cured garlic bulbs should keep for at least 6 to 8 months when properly stored. Happy growing!